Same shit.
You're letting people know my real name, bud?
It's okay. Government coming after you.
All right, we're back. Some technical difficulties. Trying out some new webcams, trying out some new stuff this week. And I think Facebook's trying out some new stuff because they're making us do everything through this creator studio now. We used to just be able to go live. What's going on Facebook? But hopefully, now this is a cool thing that they're going to do with their streaming. They let you know how we're doing and all that. So let's get back into the Dak Prescott trade.
Yep.
Or not trade. After the Dak Prescott injury, would you trade Matt Stafford to the Cowboys?
I would, but if I'm the Cowboys, how do we make that trade happen? That's the question.
Yeah, and you thought DeMarcus Lawrence.
Lawrence is, the Cowboys' defense, we were just talking about how shit they are.
Yep, Cowboys' defense sucks. We know
They're
this.
very bad. So he's clearly not doing anything. Aldon Smith turned out to be a better pass rusher than him.
Well, why would we want to trade for somebody that's
the thing.
not doing well?
From a Cowboys perspective, what can we do? We have the cap space just to trade up straight up for Stafford, but we gave up our first round picks for Amari.
So that's who I like. If this trade does work out to Dallas, and I'm not saying it will, I'm just saying this is what I'm seeing people talking about. And if it is going to work, we should have some fun with it and try to figure it out. I like Matt Stafford to Dallas for Amari Cooper and a second round pick. Because I don't think we're going to re-sign Kenny Golladay. I just don't see Quinn and Patricia doing that. I think he's going to demand too much money, and they're just not going to be willing to pay for it. So you go get your top-end wide receiver. Mm-hmm. You get a second-round pick.
So he's already locked down to a contract.
He's locked down 5 years, $100 million, but that's not all guaranteed money. So it's a friendly contract for whoever's taking it on.
Yeah.
It kind of supplements how much we're paying Stafford. To me, that's really the only thing that could make sense.
But here's the problem.
There's problems.
What do you do with Dak if you do trade for Stafford, who has 3 years left on his contract?
Dak's not going to play again, man. Like, I am not convinced Dak Prescott will be back on the field
next year.
At the end of this year, or even it's halfway through next year. Unless I'm... Like, if you're a doctor or you know something about those types of injuries, can you please type in and let us know what you're thinking, if he can be back, what the recovery time is? Because I clearly don't know enough about that, but I think if your arm or your leg gets fucking snapped in half, it's going to take a lot longer than if you had just, like, a little fracture.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, you got to rebuild stability. You got to rebuild strength. You got to they're going to have pins in that thing. It's not going to be as strong. I think it was his plant foot, too, so that's going to change his throwing motion. Like, there's just so many things that go wrong with that type of injury.
Well, here's the thing with the Cowboys situation. If you're the GM, right, you're looking at Dak Prescott needs complete rework. You're not signing him to a contract. This is last season.
Right.
You're not going to franchise tag him for $37 million just to sit out the next season.
No.
So you trade for Stafford, let's say.
Yep.
You let Dak Prescott walk for free. You see how it's
and
like really...
And then the Lions sign him.
Then
we get Dak Prescott, baby! Woo!
God damn it, man.
There's some other trade options that I was going over in my head. I think Denver is another option to look at. You know John Elway loves his shiny quarterbacks. Like, he's been on a mission to find his quarterbacks. He hit it out of the park when he got Peyton Manning. But ever since then and before then, it's just been strikeout after strikeout after strikeout. I know they got Drew Lock now, and they do like Drew Lock, but I don't know. I see Elway kind of falling in love with Stafford because he's Elway without the mobility. Like, he's got that Elway
He's got that arm.
He's got the Elway arm.
Talent.
So if we could trade him to Denver, I think Denver would unload some picks. Obviously, they're not going to trade us Jerry Jeudy. Maybe Cortland Sutton, but I'm not really a huge Sutton fan. Noah Fant, don't really need him.
Nope.
So I'm just trying to go down the roster of guys that we need. I mean, I'd take KJ Hamler all day.
Hamler and a few picks.
Yeah, Hamler. Yeah, because he was a second-round pick.
And that's the thing. That's where Detroit needs to decide what they want to do.
And that's what makes it tough.
We're 1-3.
Yep.
We're 1-3. We have a very friendly schedule over the next 7 weeks. So that glimmer of hope, although don't get your hopes up. Do you trade Stafford?
Right.
And then dump your season? And then how do you justify firing Patricia
Well, that's the thing.
If you trade away the quarterback, who clearly they can't win without him, if you look back to last season.
Yeah, but they can't win with him if you look at this season.
Of course.
I mean, they've won 4 games with him in
Of
2
course,
seasons.
of
So
course.
let's not say that, like, I get we
Well,
didn't win one game.
competitively wise, the team is not competitive at all without him. I mean,
Yeah, we're not competitive with him. Like, that's always my thing. Like, I love Stafford. Like, not that I think he's the greatest quarterback of all time, but hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Talk.
bless you.
Yeah, sorry. I don't have the Rona. We good. No, but I like Stafford. I respect him. I went back and looked at the 2009 draft for the NFL, and what a complete shit show that draft was. Like, there were like 5 good players that came out of that entire draft, and a lot of them were in the later rounds.
Yeah.
So Stafford was the 100% right pick in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the marriage is over, man. Like
Yeah.
it's just over.
There's
it
nothing
hasn't
left.
worked out. We've given it 11 years. How much more effort can you put into something that just isn't working out?
And he had all the talent in the world to work with, offensively and defensively.
He's had great
Especially,
teams.
like 4 years into his career, 5 years. Somewhere
Yeah.
after that, right when he was entering his prime, he had that 5,000-yard passing year. Team was really clicking. Lose to the Saints in the fucking wild card.
Well, I'll tell you who's hurting Stafford too is Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah.
Because everybody, one of the things they always want to give an excuse to Stafford about the defense.
Yeah, Russell Wilson.
Seattle defense is awful, and
Fuck
look
the
what Russ
defense.
is doing.
Look
Look
he's
what
doing.
Russ is doing.
Look what he's doing with the offense.
Right, because that's
Through-
what good quarterbacks do. They
Tyler
elevate the
Lockett
people
was a
around
gadget player coming out of college. I love DK Metcalf, but what the hell?
Beast.
He's a project.
Beast.
And the dude is coming out guns blazing.
them. Right.
Their tight end. He was a run blocking tight end coming out of college. He can catch the ball now. I mean,
That's the thing you
other
need
than
in
Chris
the
Carson,
NFL. That's
I mean, only Chris Carson is the actual like you can point and be like, oh yeah, he's reliable every week.
right.
You didn't think of Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf as a 1,000-yard per season tandem. Just no.
No, the thing you need in the NFL if you're a
Russell always
quarterback
makes it work.
is being elusive. You need to be able to create plays, and that's where the older Stafford gets, the less plays he's going to be able to create, the less value he's going to bring. So to me, if you don't trade him now or this year, you're not going to get any value for him next year or the year after.
Look where the NFL is trending though.
Right.
Teams are figuring it out. As bad as the Cleveland Browns are, they're
Oh.
4-1 right now.
God.
Kevin Stefanski,
Ugh.
Matt LaFleur,
That hurts.
Kyle Shanahan, even Sean McVay. I know he's had a down season last year, but Rams are, they're looking good now. They're getting their form back. This young offensive-minded trend that's going on with head coaching in the NFL. If you're the Lions and you're honestly looking to be competitive, commit to a rebuild. And I'm not saying this just to fire Matt Patricia. You just look at the team.
Yeah, it's time, man. The
It's
dude's
time.
won 10 games in 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
It's time.
The
It's
quarterback,
time.
time to move off the quarterback.
Right. If 9 and
if you don't-
7 wasn't good enough, 10 and 26 shouldn't be.
Of course. Quarterback's getting old. He's past it. The team isn't what it used to be. Commit to the rebuild and move on.
Yeah.
And whether it's Patricia and Quinn or a whole new regime, I don't care. But commit to what you are. The team's not a playoff team. It's so obvious. The Bears are better than us, and that's so frustrating.
Oh, yeah, I thought the Bears were a fraud too, and now they're sitting 4-1.
Matt Nagy's another offensive-minded coach.
So okay,
who can actually coach. It's not even that he's this
so
offensive.
what about
genius.
Dan Quinn? Just got let go by Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah. What do you think
I
about Quinn?
wouldn't.
You
I
wouldn't?
I wouldn't. I feel like that's Patricia 2.0.
Oh,
Wait, hear me out. Hear me
come
out.
on,
Hear me
come
out.
on. What?
Hear me out.
You got
Hear me
what?
out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm talking from a coaching standpoint. I know he took them to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
A lot of things.
Playoff wins,
But
high-powered
Who was
offense.
his offensive coordinator?
You tell me.
Kyle Shanahan. And ever since he left, they've been nothing but downhill.
Offense, they've been fine.
But defensively as well, they've
Right.
been tanking.
Right.
And again, Dan Quinn is a fucking
But to
10
compare
times-
him to Patricia.
He's 10 times the
Jesus!
Coach, he's 10 times the coach that Matt Patricia is.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
are we gonna win a division with Dan Quinn?
Got me all hot and bothered over here.
Are we gonna win a division with Dan Quinn?
We could win a division with Dan Quinn. I think. I respect what he did in Atlanta.
I do too.
Every time. At
But-
least they're competitive and they're fun to watch. That's at this point. That's all I
with our
want.
team.
Competitive and fun to watch.
But with our team, I don't think he can turn it around. I think it's a rebuild project.
Yeah.
So a Dan Quinn wouldn't make sense. For me, what would make sense? Move off the coach. If you want to keep the GM, keep the GM. But really, you got to go for an offensive-minded young coach That's the trend.
So no Bill O'Brien either?
Bill O'Brien's interesting.
He is
as long as you don't
interesting.
make him the GM, I think he's a good coach. He proved it at Penn State.
Yep.
He's one of the few people who've worked under Belichick that actually turned out to be a
He won four
division
divisions,
titles.
and that's a tough division.
And
it's
that
not
is a tough division. That had Andrew Luck in it. Jacksonville are never an easy team to play,
Yep.
realistically. I don't know.
So okay, so you're okay.
Bill O'Brien's-
Maybe O'Brien. No on a Quinn.
No, just no on Quinn because it's not what we need.
Okay.
I don't think he's going to walk in and change the culture. We need a culture change from a. It's not even from an organization standpoint. It's more so the players don't like Patricia, and it's so obvious, and they don't respect him, and they're not learning anything from him.
Yeah, did we all see what Terry Bradshaw said about him yesterday? He just said he is the smartest guy in the room. He's a rocket scientist, but he can't coach because he can't relate to his players.
Exactly.
And that's such a big thing. Adam and I were talking earlier. Chuck Daly was really the first coach that ever put me on to thinking like that. Because back when he was coaching the Bad Boys, he said, I don't coach a basketball team. I manage 12 corporations.
Yeah.
And that's really true. And when you're an NFL coach, you're managing 52? Is it 52 on the roster?
53, I think.
Okay,
52 or
53.
53, yeah.
53 corporations. So that's an incredibly tough job. So to be a coach in the NFL, you really, like Pete Carroll is the prime example of relating to his players, being a player's coach, like players wanting to come there and
Never
play
lost
for
his
him.
locker room even after the whole Legion of Boom collapse.
Yeah.
The whole defense went away, and you know what? He had the quarterback who trusted him, and that's all he needed.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's all you really need in the NFL. You need to get the GM right, you need to get the head coach right, you need to get the quarterback right. If you can do that, I don't care what roster you have, you're going to be competing for the division every year. And the Eagles, I think, are a good example of that.
Who were some
Great
other
GM.
trades for Stafford? Let's kind of circle back to that. You said something very interesting this morning when we were talking about this. I didn't even think about this team to trade with. The other team I thought of was the Jets, just because they're desperate for anything right now. Adam Gase is going to be scratching at the walls just to try to keep his job, so why not go get a guy like Stafford to help you out?
I think the 49ers.
When you said that, it made a lot of sense for some reason.
And it's not, I don't like Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is very good.
But he's part of the trade, right?
He's part of the trade.
So
and if I'm the GM, if I'm John Lynch, I'm seeing Stafford with 3 years left. We just dumped a ton of money into Jimmy. We have a Super Bowl roster.
Yep. We just need the
I
quarterback.
think my coach, who's very talented, can get the most out of Matthew Stafford. And I feel like Jimmy Garoppolo has regressed ever since his Super Bowl airball that he threw. And
he looked awful.
And
this
I don't want to.
weekend.
Again,
He
I
looked
think Jimmy.
awful.
I think Jimmy's good. I think they made the right decision by trading for him. They stole him, for, considering it was only a second-round pick, I think.
Yep.
And they stole him even more on the contract. So,
So
again,
I thought
that's
that was
an option.
I thought that was super interesting. I didn't even think about that because they are missing a quarterback. That's the one missing thing they have on their team, and obviously
And
it's a
Stafford
big
doesn't
thing.
have to throw the ball 30 times a game. They run the ball so well. They have that zone offense that his dad taught him.
Yep.
They run it so well. McKinnon, Wilson. They have Kittle coming off, freaking falls on the floor, runs, gets up and runs a route. It's just the best thing to watch. They have Ayuk, who looks really
He
good.
hurdled that dude a couple weeks
They
ago.
have a lot of talent on the team. I think they're a Super Bowl contender.
Okay.
I just don't think they're in mid-season form.
Okay.
That's a trade that could happen. I don't think it will happen, but if we're thinking of trade options.
Yeah,
that's
we're
a trade
just
option.
trying to go around the league and think about who you would trade Stafford
where does that
to.
leave
If you got a
Detroit?
comment, if you got somebody
Yeah.
that you want to suggest, drop it in the comments below. And
Where does that
we'll
leave
address it.
Detroit? You know, you make that trade, you get Jimmy and maybe a few picks.
I
wouldn't say first round.
I don't mind. I don't think it leaves us any worse than we are right
Exactly, and then I think that's a good trade-off. I think we get to move away from Stafford. We bring in Jimmy.
Jimmy.
But-
And Jimmy's just sexy. Can we say
He
that?
is,
like,
he is.
like
He's a
I,
sexy guy.
I'm a straight guy, but I can acknowledge another good-looking guy,
You
and
gotta
Jimmy
admit.
Garoppolo is a good-looking man.
For sure.
If
For
I
sure.
was gay, Jimmy,
Jimmy.
me and you, sup? Well, speaking of gay, LeBron James won his fourth. Is that a good transition? I'm talking about his fans. I'm not talking about LeBron. Like people who love LeBron love LeBron. No, LeBron.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
first of all, for sure.
Yeah,
Fourth title, fourth Finals MVP. Deserved it.
I'm not one of those guys that loves LeBron like that. I respect the shit out of his game.
For
I
sure.
do, but I hate the way he's gone about winning his championships. And then I hate how people who respect LeBron diss Kevin Durant when he did the same exact thing LeBron did. Like, LeBron's greatest player of our generation, greatest small forward of all time. Can we agree on that?
Easily.
Like, I'm not even going to get in the Kobe, LeBron, Jordan debate.
Kobe's not. I don't think Kobe's in the LeBron debate.
Like, do you think he's out of it, above it?
I don't think.
Or are we going to actually have this debate?
No. I think Kobe. I think when you compare Kobe and LeBron, I think very different situations.
Yeah, obviously they're different situations, but
Yeah,
I'm just
I think
talking about
as a
the general player.
As a general, it's very close.
Yeah.
But I think LeBron does just one thing so much better than Kobe does, which is make his teammates better.
Ooh, no.
Hear me? Wait.
Ooh.
I think if you look at it overall from year one
No.
to year 20
No.
with Kobe. Kobe did not make his teammates better until I'd say 2008, 2009. He started figuring it out. Same with Michael. It took Michael almost 10 years to figure out how to make
I don't
his
like
teammates
this
better.
Conversation.
Dude, come on, you gotta give LeBron that.
He
does make his team better.
If LeBron was good at making his teammates better, he wouldn't have had to go to Miami.
Okay, let's be fair.
Let's
Did
be
you
fair.
see the roster in Cleveland?
Right, but isn't he supposed to make his teammates better?
He did. He carried the shit out of them.
Yeah, come on, you can't have it both ways, Adam.
Okay,
You're arguing
put
both
Kobe,
sides.
No, I'm not. I'm telling you this is true. Put Kobe on that roster, they don't make the playoffs, and it's true because Kobe proved it because he couldn't get to the playoffs.
In the West.
Okay,
In the West.
look what LeBron just did with AD alone.
AD alone, without the Warriors' full team, with
Okay.
Kevin Durant leaving the
Yes.
West, inside a bubble with limited teams.
Cool.
Like, I'm not going to discredit this championship.
Come on.
You won the
Come
championship.
on.
You won the championship.
Come on.
But to say LeBron James was better at making his teammates better than
That's
Kobe,
the one thing he's done consistently
it's not
throughout
though.
his career.
It's not though.
Oh.
Because in Cleveland he couldn't do it,
Okay.
so he ran away. He went.
He did.
So he left Cleveland. He went to Miami because he couldn't make his teammates better. You know who did make their teammates better? Dwayne Wade. That's why he won a championship in 06, and that's why
With Shaq.
LeBron ran to him to win another championship. He couldn't win without Wade. He couldn't win without Bosh, and then they brought in Ray Allen. Like, he didn't make any of those guys better. Those guys were already stars. Like Jimmy
I
Butler.
think Miami's the only exception where you
What do
can
you
say
mean?
that.
No, because then he came back to
Cleveland.
Cleveland after they got 2 consecutive #1 overall picks, with Kyrie Irving being one of them.
And he
So
busted.
he didn't make that team better. The fact that he left and they tanked and they got first-round picks or top picks,
I don't know.
that stacked the roster for him to come back and get his championships. Then he goes to LA. He didn't win shit last year because he didn't have.
He got hurt.
But he didn't win shit. He
They
didn't
were,
make
they were
anybody
the
on
number
that.
one seed before he got hurt.
Whatever. They didn't win shit.
Come on, man.
And
Come on.
then he brings in AD, who carries him this whole season. AD, an incredible player. Like, he didn't make Caldwell Pope better. He didn't, like,
He clearly did. I mean, they literally.
AD. This was AD's team.
I don't. Okay, you take. That's so naive.
What?
How, man?
That's
How is that
insulting.
AD's team? AD can't take the ball up the court. And
Yes, he can. That's the
Every-
beauty of AD. He can
not,
do
not
everything.
for the whole game.
He's
LeBron
like,
does it the whole game. AD does it.
I'm not
sometimes.
disrespecting LeBron, but to say
I know, it's not
LeBron
about-
makes people better is wrong. If he made teammates better, he wouldn't constantly have to align himself with superstars to win championships. Kentucky.
Kentucky.
I don't know.
We can save that for another time.
Yeah, either way, congratulations, LeBron. No, it is interesting how he's won championships with 3 different teams. I don't think anybody's ever done that, right?
I think it's just his way of winning.
Right.
I think that's you have to take that into account with the way the NBA
His
is
way
now.
of winning isn't build a team around you, make people better. It's run to a place,
be
grab
fair.
superstars.
Okay. Yes, in the Miami situation, and yes, when he went back to Cleveland.
Yep.
Because Kevin Love.
And yes, when he
traded
went
for
to
Kevin.
LA.
There was nothing in LA when he got there. They
Right.
traded for AD.
Right.
Yeah. No. Okay,
But that was the point.
to be fair to him, he couldn't have won without AD. Just like Kobe couldn't have won without Shaq. And I don't think Michael would have.
Kobe did win without Shaq.
Kobe didn't win until Paul Gasol and Andrew Bynum came.
Right, but he won
I'm not
without
discrediting
Shaq.
Kobe. No,
Yeah,
don't get me
you
wrong.
just said he couldn't win.
But
He
you
did.
need teammates. You need good teammates. You need
I
all-star
understand
teammates.
that. Jordan,
Yeah.
needed to be able to throw that to
Rodman.
Kerr.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
no,
get all that. You
not
need
even Kerr.
teammates. But
You
what
need-
Jordan did was he built that team. Like, he stayed in Chicago. Like what Isaiah did here in Detroit.
Of
The
course.
team was absolute dog shit
But I
when he
think-
got here. But he stayed and he built the team. They added the pieces. He made the people around him better.
I
What
agree.
LeBron did was hop all over the country, build
But isn't
super
that
teams.
today's NBA?
It is because of LeBron.
It is because of LeBron.
Well,
but
actually, it kind of started with the Celtics and
not so much though.
Well, when
Considering
Kevin-
they weren't all.
when Kevin Durant went to the Celtics with Ray Allen,
No,
that changed.
KG, yeah.
Yeah, KG.
Yeah.
When KG, like that was the
That was
first,
like a mini super team.
but it was the
you know?
beginning of what we see now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think in today's NBA, it's okay to move. I think the progressive NBA analysts now are like, because old school, fuck that, stay, grind it out. But
Yep.
I don't see how that's he can't discredit what he's done. But I think the way he's done it is unique to him.
Right.
I don't think you can compare it to MJ, Kobe. I just
Nope.
think that time is done. But we also have to look at the overall picture. And 10 finals appearances,
Yeah, that's great.
4 finals wins, 4
That's great.
MVPs.
Yeah.
I compare this to Tom Brady. If you remember, Tom Brady was 5-3. Wait. Hear me out. Let me finish.
Mm-hmm.
Just record-wise,
Okay.
he made a total of 9. He won 6. 5-4 is completely different than 6-3. And I feel like LeBron's 6-3 and 4-6 is a little different for him, legacy-wise. I think that obviously winning a chip propels him higher.
Yep.
But I think when you look at it, he still has time to get closer to even, although I don't think he does.
When
I don't
does
think-
LeBron James retire?
I don't think he does.
What is this
anytime
year?
soon.
Is this year 17?
17.
Yeah.
He said he wants to play with his kid. That's another 3 seasons.
Jesus.
Guy, I mean,
You imagine that? Like,
It's crazy,
has that ever
but-
happened in the NBA?
no, maybe.
I know it's happened in Major League Baseball with
Yeah.
Ken Griffey.
hmm I don't know. I don't know in the NBA, but I don't know if anybody could do it. LeBron, considering how invested he is in his body and his health. So you never know.
How invested you are into LeBron's body, apparently.
No, not at all.
Kenny says, why is this even a debate? LeBron isn't even as good as Kobe, let alone MJ. And that's why I started this out by saying best small forward ever. Because that's kind of, there's really no debate. You can throw Bird in there.
When you say LeBron isn't as good as Kobe, what does that mean? As an overall player?
Yeah, that's why I said stick with small forward. I don't think he's as good as Kobe, personally. Just overall tenacity and what he did for his team and how he elevated the game. Like I said, I just don't love the way LeBron has went about winning his 4 championships. If they were all in Cleveland, LeBron would be the greatest player of all time, hands down. No questions asked, period. Do you agree with that?
Do we hold a shit organization against the player? That's my question.
He won a championship there. How is it a shit organization?
Well, no. Before he ever won one championship.
I got it.
How bad was Cleveland?
How bad were the Pistons before we won our first
No.
championship with the Bad
I'm
Boys?
talking
No,
with
no,
LeBron. With LeBron.
Yeah, I'm talking,
The roster was horrible.
but you're missing the point of building it and creating a champion.
He gave it
not
7
running
years.
to Miami.
I agree about running to Miami, but he
Right.
gave it 7 years.
I got that.
And they couldn't get him one good player to play alongside with, let alone a superstar.
They had Larry Hughes. Hughes was okay. Zadrunas Ilgauskas.
Come on, I know, but we're talking. You need a number 2. You really do. Middleton is not a number 2. It's the reason why the Bucks get busted out every year. And I don't even think Giannis is a 1. He needs a ball handler on his team. He's clearly a power forward. He's an AD.
Yeah.
He needs somebody to carry the ball up the court, give him the ball.
I agree.
So, I don't know. I think it's a good debate to have later.
Yeah, we're supposed to be talking football and
Football,
stuff.
I know.
No, but it's the NBA championship. I mean, we got to
No,
address
good for
it.
him.
How did you feel about the whole bubble?
I hated it.
You hated it?
Yeah, I didn't like it at all. I felt like they should have canceled the season.
Really?
Yeah. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Playing in a bubble. I felt the same with NHL. It didn't really apply to the NFL because their season hadn't started yet.
Right.
But
I feel like the NBA season didn't even happen though, and the same thing with NHL.
feels
Like
that.
it came
Feels
and
like
went,
that.
and it was just
it's
like
we're gonna forget
it
about
was
it.
more like a gimmick than anything. What's really freaking me out about the NBA is this is supposed to be like Pistons preseason time right now.
Yeah.
Things keep popping up in my timeline like the Pistons are on TV. You know, it's
Yeah.
October. Let's go.
Mhm.
I don't know when the NBA is going to actually start their next regular season. Hopefully,
I
it's
think
in-
they eliminated a few back-to-backs, stuff like that.
MJ won 3 straight, got bored, played baseball, came back, won 3 straight. That's
Amazing.
that's a legitimate argument.
That's what happened.
That is
That's what happened.
That is history. That is the truth.
I don't know. I think when you talk about the greatest players of all time, I think at least a conversation has to be had with Michael, Kobe, a LeBron, a Magic, a Kareem. I think you have to have a conversation. I think
You're missing one of the biggest names that everybody always leaves out.
Bill.
Bill Russell.
Okay. I said a conversation. I didn't say who the undisputed one was.
I'm just saying. Everybody always forgets Bill Russell because then they get him. Jordan won 6 rings. LeBron's got 4. It's like Bill Russell has 13 rings. If we're doing the ring
against Will Chamberlain.
Yeah, if we're doing the ring conversation,
I don't think it's a ring conversation, and that's why I think LeBron should be in the conversation at least.
Yeah, LeBron's great.
Yeah, I don't think anybody discredits that. I think
he broke my heart when he scored those 24 straight points against the Pistons in the fourth quarter. Like I was there at that game. Like I've had a distaste for LeBron since 2004 when he started playing for Cleveland. Not only did he play for Cleveland, like that's check 1 on my list is I hate you. But then he was really good for Cleveland. That's check 2. Then he beat the Pistons' ass. That's check 3. And it's just like I've had 17 years of LeBron.
Yeah,
I'm over it.
And I think that's
we're
that's
the camera, man.
Oh, sorry. That's another thing. It's year 17 for him.
Yeah.
And he's literally still playing like he's in his prime.
Yeah, that's what's...
And that's, again, it's a conversation.
But he's such a flopper, and he's such a baby, and he's such a crier, and he's just such a... It just annoys the hell out of me. The fact that he's so good is what annoys the hell out of me.
I think that's a good,
good
way to put it.
Yeah, I respect his game. And Teresa makes a good point, too, about small forward. That is really the only other small forward.
Yeah, him and Bird have to be 1-2, and you can put it in any order.
But honestly, if you put LeBron next to Larry Bird, like, they're not even the same species. Like... Larry Bird was a skinny little guy. He was tough as nails. He could shoot the rock, but LeBron is just a different level of human being.
Yeah.
Like, he's not even a human. He's a cyborg.
No, he's proved it. 17 years of being in his prime. Literally, it's kind of doesn't make any sense.
Triple-double this
He'll break all the numbers records, and those don't matter when you put it into perspective, considering how long you've played. Do I keep kicking?
Yes.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Congratulations, LeBron. All the LeBron fans. You got a whole year of running your mouth. That's another thing. I got Laker fans all over the place that are running their mouth now about the Lakers. Like, I love when the Pistons smack the Lakers in the finals. I got to have an argument with some kid online the other day about the Lakers and the Pistons. I was like, man, I love meeting the Lakers in the finals. We're 2-3 against y'all, or 2-1 against y'all in 3 appearances. Like, I love. That phantom foul bullshit. We'll talk about that at another time. Shout out to Bill Lambier.
That's right.
But yeah, either way, I mean, we end Laker dynasties. That's what we do. We did it with Magic. We did it with Kobe and Shaq. And, hopefully the Pistons will get back on track. And we can end this LeBron.
Well, that's what I was going to ask.
2 to 3 more years. 2-3 more years. That's the only way the Lakers die is when the Pistons come in and kill them.
But do you think the Lakers come back next year and contend? Or is next year the year the Warriors kind of get their shit together?
Nah, the Lakers, I mean, as long as they got AD on that team, they're good. AD carries the Lakers. No, for real. I don't know. I don't see anybody beating the Lakers, but I also I'm excited to see the Warriors get healthy and get back together. Like that style of basketball is just so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I didn't love watching the Lakers just bulldoze through everybody.
They were so good defensively in the playoffs. I got to give Vogel that.
Because they're huge. I mean, they're huge and they're agile.
Well, they had the matchups. Other than the Nuggets, where you could say the big men were kind of even, it wasn't even because AD is just so much more athletic than Jokic. So, and they have Dwight Howard, McGee. Like you can't guard 7 feet unless you have.
Yeah, but how can you say that LeBron made any of those players better? Like those were all solid role players that they signed to 1-year contracts and brought in.
Well, then does that mean Jordan made Steve Kerr better? He was a role player. I mean, it's what he was.
Well, if you watch the documentary, Jordan made everybody better because he was so demanding on them. Hi, Mom. My mom's watching. Say hi, Adam.
Hi, Sam's mom.
So, yeah, that's our sports talk for today. Obviously, there was a ton that happened yesterday, from Dak's ankle to Alex Smith coming back. The Lions didn't lose.
That's a great thing.
Woo! Felt good. Felt good on a Sunday.
No.
Stretch back and just watch some good football without having my heart broken. But, yeah, it was a great Sunday of sports. Congratulations to LeBron James, to the Lakers, to Caldwell Pope. Quit kicking the goddamn camera at him. But, yeah, congratulations to them. And a big shout-out to the Miami Heat. Like, what a great season they put together.
Also turned out to be
Spoelstra's the real deal.
Yeah.
Like, that's another thing.
That's something organizations don't
If
do.
you
I
want
think
to
we
talk
talked
about
that.
LeBron, like how he railroads good coaches because LeBron thinks he can coach everybody. Like he did it to Spoelstra, he did it to who was it, Mike Davis,
Mike Brown,
Mike Brown.
Ty Lue.
He did it to Tyler. Like the only person he never bulldozed was my man in
Spoelstra.
Miami.
Well, I think
No, not Spoelstra. Why can't I think of his name? The guy with the slick back hair. He used to coach the Knicks. Then he took over the Heat because they let Pat Riley. Pat Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the president.
Yeah, but he coached LeBron down there for a while. Remember they
Did
fired Spoelstra while
never
LeBron
fired
was.
Spoelstra.
They demoted him. Yeah.
What?
LeBron has railroaded every coach he's ever played with.
I don't remember them doing that with Spoelstra, but
Yeah. Still feel like the bye week one. I hope not, man. I hope the Lions had a good week of practice.
2 weeks to prepare for the Jags.
for the
We can do a
Jags.
preview later this week.
Yeah, we will. DJ Chark
They
kind
lose.
of got hurt.
They lose. I don't want to talk about the Lions.
We got Minshew coming in town though, so maybe I'll
Yeah.
have to get the mustache up for him.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for watching. This is
Thank you,
Woodward
thank
Sports. Every morning at 8 a.m., we're going to hop on and discuss sports. Obviously, there was so much to discuss today. We were on a little bit longer than we normally are. But thank you for watching. Make sure you spread the word about Woodward Sports.
Absolutely.
Share this. Tag people in it. Get people involved in the debate, whether you think LeBron is awesome or not, whether you think he railroads his coaches, whether you think he rides all his superstar players to the championship, whether you think he could make anybody around him better, which is yet to be seen. Thank you for watching. It's Woodward Sports Live. And we got some big news coming up in less than 2 weeks, so
Ooh.
stick around.
Thank you, guys. And?